Jada Pinkett Smith has just been exposed in a way that might end her Hollywood career for good. The whispers we've heard for years about secret deals, wild parties, and twisted relationships might not have been whispers at all. Because now, with Diddy under federal investigation and his past catching up to him, new information is unraveling, and Jada's name is right in the middle of it. From freak-offs and secret separations to psychedelic trips and shocking confessions, the truth behind the Smith family's carefully polished image is shattering, and the pieces are sharp. But let's start with the latest leak that got everyone talking. It started like most scandals do, not with a bang, but with a whisper. For years, there had been low-level chatter in the darker corners of the internet. Twitter threads, subreddit speculations, TikToks hinting at something deeper going on between Jada Pinkett Smith and Sean Diddy Combs. But nobody really took it seriously. After all, it was just gossip, right? That all changed the day CNN released a damning expose as part of their ongoing coverage of Diddy's federal investigation. While most people were focused on the headline, racketeering, trafficking, and a list of allegations that could dismantle his empire, it was a single name buried in the middle of the article that made jaws drop. Jada Pinkett Smith, not as a victim, not as a witness, but as someone allegedly close enough to Diddy's inner circle to be considered complicit, or at the very least aware, of what was happening behind closed doors. One anonymous source from inside the investigation used a chilling phrase to describe her role. She was one of his puppets, the source said. She didn't pull the strings, but she danced when he asked her to. That single quote changed everything. Almost immediately, the internet lit up. Fans were in disbelief, critics were smugly vindicated, and those who had always questioned the Smiths' perfectly curated image started piecing together a puzzle that suddenly made a lot more sense. Jada wasn't just connected to Diddy through a few celebrity events and charity galas. According to newly surfaced reports, she had been present at multiple private parties hosted by the mogul, including several that have now come under legal scrutiny. What those parties involved is still unclear, but witnesses claim they were invitation only, with attendees required to surrender their phones and sign NDAs upon entry. The type of exclusive gatherings where what happens inside never makes it to the public. Until now. And Jada? She wasn't just attending. Some allege she was facilitating. One industry insider, a former entertainment assistant who worked briefly with Bad Boy Records, stated that Jada had a unique relationship with Diddy. Not romantic, not business, but something more layered. She was a kind of gatekeeper, the source said. Not officially, of course, but people knew if Jada vouched for you, you got in. If she didn't, you were out. That idea, that Jada was not just passively present, but actively involved, was enough to reignite every rumor that had swirled around her for the last decade. Suddenly, old clips from Red Table Talk were being reanalyzed. Her calm demeanor, her cryptic phrasing, her moments of silence when certain topics came up. Was it all just emotional vulnerability, or was she dodging something? The speculation grew darker. People began revisiting interviews where she defended Diddy or avoided questions about his lifestyle. One clip from a 2019 press event resurfaced where a reporter casually asked Jada about her thoughts on the extravagant parties Diddy was known for. Her smile froze. She laughed, changed the subject, and moved on. At the time, it seemed harmless. Now, it reads like deflection. But maybe the most telling part of this whole story is the silence. Because if you know anything about Jada, it's that she doesn't stay silent for long. She's spoken publicly about everything: her marriage, her entanglement, her depression, her sex life, her parenting choices. She's turned vulnerability into a brand. She even invited her husband onto Red Table Talk just to unpack her own infidelity with millions of people watching. So why now, when she's being name-dropped in federal-level scandals with serious implications, has she said absolutely nothing? No tweet, no Instagram video, no Red Table, nothing. And that silence, more than anything else, has people raising eyebrows. Because silence in the face of accusation can mean many things: guilt, fear, legal advice, or maybe complicity. Even the people defending her can't deny how strange it is. One fan wrote on Twitter, "If this wasn't true, Jada would have already posted a 30-minute IG video with incense burning in the background, breaking it all down in her calm therapist voice. But instead, the incense isn't burning, the table isn't talking, and the walls are closing in." Of course, it's worth noting, none of this proves anything. Allegations aren't facts. Speculation isn't truth. But perception perception is powerful, especially when it comes to public figures who have built their brand on truth. And right now, that perception is unraveling. The woman once seen as a champion of emotional transparency is now being painted as a possible accomplice in something far darker than anyone imagined. And with every new story, every anonymous quote, every re-emerging photo, the strings seem to get more visible. So was Jada really Diddy's puppet? Or was she just another Hollywood figure caught in the crossfire of someone else's destruction? The only thing we know for sure is this: the silence is loud, and whatever she knows, she's not saying. But we're not done yet. Because if you think this is messy, wait until you hear what really went down the night J.Lo entered the picture, and how one whispered rumor turned into a full-blown fight that nearly tore two empires apart. Let's rewind the clock. Hollywood party, champagne flowing, celebs everywhere. Diddy, Will, Jada, and Jennifer Lopez. What happened next? Well, that's where things get wild. According to Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, there was real tension bubbling under the surface that night. And the cause? A suspected setup involving J.Lo and a rumored threesome. Yep, you heard that right. Gene claimed Diddy was furious after thinking Will and Jada tried to lure J.Lo into something more than just polite conversation, and he wasn't having it. He looked ready for war. Gene said in an interview, "He told me to stay close because he was gonna snuff Will." Imagine that. One of the most famous actors in the world, nearly getting knocked out at a party because he got too cozy with Diddy's ex. And yet, this wasn't even the most shocking part of the story. This wasn't Diddy's first explosive moment. Back in 1999, while dating J.Lo, Diddy was involved in a nightclub shooting. 3 people were injured, and who took the fall? Not Diddy. Shine, the rising star on his label, was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Shine later claimed he was set up. "I was the fall guy," he said. He believed Diddy fired the shots and used him as a scapegoat. And now, years later, with new violent incidents surfacing, from assault footage with Cassie to rumors Usher was hospitalized after an altercation, a clear pattern is forming. Diddy has always been surrounded by chaos, and the Smiths were closer to that chaos than anyone realized. While the public believed Will and Jada were Hollywood's golden couple, behind the scenes, it was over. Jada revealed in her memoir that she and Will separated back in 2016. No divorce, just 2 people living completely separate lives, pretending to still be together. This wasn't just relationship drama, it was a well-maintained illusion. For 7 years, they sold the world a lie. And when the world learned about Jada's entanglement with August Alsina, we thought that was the whole story. But it wasn't, because Will had secrets of his own. In a rare moment of honesty, Will admitted something wild. He once fantasized about having a harem of girlfriends, not just any women. He named Misty Copeland and Halle Berry. But instead of turning it into reality, he realized the idea horrified him. 20 women? That's a nightmare, he confessed. It wasn't just a fantasy, it revealed a lot about Will's mindset and the unconventional relationship he and Jada had been building. A relationship built on freedom, not possession, on personal happiness, not dependence. And that very lifestyle, free love, open marriage, shared experiences, might be what connected the Smiths to Diddy in the first place. But we're just getting started. Jada has always pushed boundaries, and that includes with her kids. In an emotional panel discussion, Jaden Smith confessed that his mother was the one who introduced him to psychedelics. "She was the first one," he said. "It changed everything for me." According to Jaden, plant medicine helped him bond with Willow and Trey, opened his mind, and shaped his creativity. Jada has also credited psychedelics for saving her life during depression, but the internet wasn't convinced. Critics questioned whether exposing a teenager to mind-altering substances was healing or reckless. Still, Jaden stood by her. "It made me who I am," he said. And just like that, the Smith family was no longer just unconventional, they were controversial. Then came 2024. Diddy was indicted on federal charges: racketeering, sex trafficking, and prostitution. The world watched in shock as years of rumors turned into court documents. And guess who was linked again? The Smiths. Old stories of freaky parties resurfaced. Photos from a 2004 party in Miami where Diddy was seen doing explicit things, with Will in the same room. Some said they were just guests. Others weren't so sure. Will tried to shut it down with humor, telling fans, "I don't even like baby oil," a joke. But also, a line pulled straight from the indictment. It got even darker. In late 2024, reports surfaced that Jaden accused his father of letting him get too close to Diddy. The details? Still unclear. But the implications? Disturbing. Even worse, some online forums claimed Willow was sold to Diddy. No evidence. Just a wildfire rumor spreading across the internet, faster than facts ever could. And while the Smiths have denied everything, the public can't unhear it. Because when your name is mentioned next to Diddy's in 2024, people start asking questions. So, what's the truth? Were Will and Jada victims of Diddy's chaos, willing participants, or just collateral damage from getting too close to someone powerful? The truth is, we don't know, and maybe we never will. But what we do know is that the Smith family's image has been permanently altered. From secret separations to psychedelic parenting, from freak-off rumors to federal indictments, this isn't just Hollywood gossip. This is the unraveling of one of the most untouchable families in entertainment. And as the story continues to evolve, one thing's for sure, the Smiths aren't hiding anymore, but maybe, just maybe, we were never supposed to know the full story. Do you think Jada really was part of Diddy's inner circle? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you made it this far, you're the real MVP. Smash that like, tap subscribe, and turn on the bell. Because the drama, it's only just getting started.